Hey everybody, it's Bruce here, Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my channel. The video I have for you today is a follow-up video and a bit of maybe a cautionary tale about what to expect going forward when we start cruising again. Thank you for joining me with Traveling with Bruce, sponsoring my channel and subscribing, thumbs ups, and sending donations via PayPal from time to time to help me out. Thank you, everybody. We're not being paid for the ads you're seeing these days. There's a glitch in YouTube. The Seadream 1, this ship was all over the media last week. They were attempting to do a 1-week cruise out of Bridgetown, Barbados, with all kinds of new health safety protocols in place. Testing before your cruise, testing when you got there, before you could get on the ship. It looked good. It started great. 2 days in, everybody was having a wonderful time. Only 53 passengers, 66 odd crew. And on the third day, one of the passengers became ill. They did a quick test on the ship, and sure enough, the passenger tested positive for the virus. So they put everyone in lockdown, and they sailed back to Barbados, to Bridgetown, and the officials there came on board with more detailed testing, and they eventually figured out 7 people were infected with the virus. 6 passenger, 1 crew. The passengers, most of them were with one family out of the U.S., and everyone was, just really down in the dumps about it. Some folks had been on this ship for a transatlantic crossing for a few weeks, and no issue whatsoever, no virus, no problems, lots of testing, and it was really going well. So it was a real downer when this happened. They returned, like I said, to Bridgetown, and this is where it gets interesting. Here in Barbados, the folks who tested negative were told they had to leave the country immediately. There were some folks who wanted to stay for a little while and just enjoy Barbados, but they were told, no, you got to get out. They were literally hustled off the ship, put on buses, taken to the airport, and they were made to fly out, some as far away as the United Kingdom. This begs the question, what is going to happen when these kinds of ships come into Barbados down the road? What are we going to have happen here if a passenger ship with 2,500 passengers shows up and we have 10 positive cases that popped up all of a sudden, or we got 4 ships with 12,000 passengers? What is this country going to do? I understand that the cruise lines are doing everything they can to mitigate the problem, but Barbados only has a population of 287,000 people, and they certainly can't handle a massive influx of ill folks. But those of us who want to leave Miami, this place here, and get on a ship and go for a 1-week cruise, we want to know that if we do by chance get ill, that we have to know what we're going to look forward to. What we don't want to look forward to is a scenario where we are forced to abandon our ship and go to the airport and get out of town. I mean, that's the last thing we want to be thinking about here. We want to have plans. The folks here in Fort Lauderdale, they're dying to get going with 8-10 ships a day like they used to, as you can see in this photo here. 6, 7, 8, 9 ships a day used to be the norm for Fort Lauderdale and then the Port of Miami and Port Canaveral. But cruise ships are really up against it. These Caribbean nations, they've got to get their act together, and they've got to have a consistent policy. By the way, thanks again. This video is being brought to you by you guys. My viewers are the backbone of this channel. I want to thank you all so much for supporting me. Send me a $10 US donation through PayPal. I'll send you a TWB custom-made postcard from Creston. A bunch of folks are getting these, and they're going out around the world. And also, those of you who are becoming sponsor members of my channel, I really want to thank you for this. I give you 2 sponsor member live shows a week. Monday night, 7 o'clock Eastern. Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock Eastern, where we play trivia. And we have a lot of fun there. Join the gang. The cruise lines, they just want clarity. So do travel agents. So do passengers. Tell us what the deal is. Don't make up rules on the fly, and don't change your mind overnight. This episode in Barbados is very interesting to me because it was revealing how they began to just throw out all the norms. Normally, you would have thought that when a ship came back to port with 7 cases of the virus, that all the other passengers and crew would have to have a 2-week quarantine. A lot of the passengers fully expected that they would have at least a 1-week quarantine, be tested negative, and then be let to go on their way. But no, the government decided that we're going to get the passengers out of here. Just take them right to the airport, make them fly out that very day. Don't give them the option to even stay voluntarily. And the crew, we'll just keep them on the ship, and then we'll just, we'll get rid of the ship whenever we can. That seems to be the policy. I don't like the chances of something like that happening with these kinds of vessels here, with 3,000-4,000 passengers coming off a ship. You get 1 or 2 or 3 cases of the virus, you're going to have to deal with it. You can't handle 4,000 or 5,000 people and evacuate them off of an island at the airport in one day. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So I really wonder what's going to happen. I know here in the Cayman Islands, they have been debating whether or not to allow a bunch of ships back or not. I know that in other ports of call, it used to be that a cruise ship arriving into port was a big deal. It was a cause to celebrate. It was, you have a big celebration, bring all the pleasure craft out and welcome the ship in, or escort the ship when it's leaving and say goodbye. Well, with some of these ports getting, in the past 6-7 ships a day, it's not fun anymore. It's a chore. And countries are getting just overrun by tons and tons of ships. Images like this, where you see a really nice collection of some high-end cruise lines here, these are the kinds of ships that used to be normally coming to these ports. 400 to 800 passengers each, depending on the brand and so on. And maybe you'd have 1,200 people a day coming off the pier, heading to downtown, do some shopping, grab a bite to eat, do some sightseeing. Those days are gone. They've been replaced with mega ships, bigger and bigger, and 10, 12, 14,000 people a day coming into port, just overrunning the place. Every cab is hired. All the bus drivers are driving hordes of tourists everywhere. Kids are cranky in the seats and stuff. And, what are you going to do? These days, I think they're over, of course, because of social distancing. But the islands have to decide for themselves. Do we want this high volume business, or do we want to go with a slower pace? And, time will tell how this goes. But for us, I would really like to know what the future is going to hold regarding cruise ports and positive cases of the virus. What happens to the people who have tested positive, and what happens to those passengers that are not positive? Are they forced to stay in a cabin on a ship even though they're not unwell? Are they not allowed to disembark? Are they going to be forced to literally pack up and head to the airport and fly home from here? I think we all want a little clarity on this, and I think we deserve it. And I think for the island nations of the Caribbean, it would be a good business for them as well to have a clear and concise policy going forward, so we all know what the rules are going to be. Anyway, lots of food for thought, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Thanks again for subscribing to my channel, supporting Traveling with Bruce. Appreciate the donations to PayPal, because we're not receiving ad money these days. You guys take care. We'll keep you posted. Bye for now.